Hey guys, it's Jen. Today I am going to be sharing a little bit of a different type of video with you today. I'm going to talk to you guys about how I was diagnosed with osteoporosis at the age of 30. I am now 31 and I will be 32 in February, just to kind of give you a timeline there. So osteoporosis is basically a disease where your bones become deteriorated and very brittle and porous to the point where you can fracture them very easily. And that's exactly what happened to me. So I wanted to share my story with you guys, and I'm not really sure why I haven't shared this before, because it's a really big part of my life. I don't think I've ever mentioned it on YouTube. But so basically, I don't think I've shared it because there's a lot of anger that I have built up inside of me, like, why did this happen to me type thing. And I don't know, it's emotional to deal with. I know there are a lot worse diseases out there, and I'm grateful that osteoporosis is what I have, and I don't have cancer or something that, you know, has a lot worse side effects than what I'm dealing with. But this is what, you know, this is the disease that I have, and this is what I've been dealing with. And when it's happening to you, it's a lot more real than, you know, to some people it might be like, oh, you have osteoporosis, and can't tell, but there's a lot to it. So I wanted to share my story with you guys. And I'm hoping that maybe there's somebody else out there that, well, I'm not hoping that there's somebody else out there that has it, but I'm hoping that if there is somebody else out there that is going through the same thing, maybe this will give you a little bit of hope, because I've recently gotten some hope, and I think that's why I'm finally at the point where I can share my story. So I'll just start from the beginning. We'll go back to June 1st, 2011. That is when my precious baby boy Cooper was born, and he's just a sweet baby. So when he was about 6 months old, exactly on November 2nd, 2011, I have notes here, so there's so much information, so if I keep looking down, I'm sorry. But November 2nd, 2011, I decided that I was going to start a fitness program and try and get back into shape after, you know, having 2 kids, and, you know, just wanted to get rid of some of that flab. So I started a fitness program. I had a personal trainer. It's not like I was just, oh, I'm going to try this today. I, you know, has very specific instructions on what to do. And this was, I think, my second visit at this place, and I'm not going to get into details about anything, like, you know, where it was or anything. But I was actually doing a deadlift, and I did the deadlift, and my back popped. I don't even know how many times. I can still, like, feel it and remember the sound that it made, but it was seriously awful. It was the most awful pain I've ever had. So I basically fell to the ground, and you know, at that point I didn't know what had happened, but I knew I was very badly hurt. So it was, I think it was a Friday, so there wasn't much of an option to go to the doctor or anything like that. And people get hurt all the time, and I think, oh, I'll be okay, and it wasn't okay. So I went through the weekend, and I was in a lot of pain. I couldn't really bend over. I couldn't pick anything up without just having, like, awful pain. So I think it was less than a week later, and I decided to go to a doctor. He is a manipulative therapist, and so I went to go see the manipulative therapist, and Jeremy and his father had seen him several times before, and, you know, if they were popped out of place or something, he could kind of put them back into place in a gentle way. So I thought, I'm going to give that a try. Well, because I was in so much pain, he didn't want to do any therapy on me. He just wanted me to get an x-ray. So I went to get an x-ray, and a few days later he called, and he basically said, I know why you're in so much pain. You have fractured your L5 vertebrae. I was like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe I actually broke my back. Like, I broke my back. Like, this is not normal. So he sent me to a specialist, and anytime you go to a specialist, I don't know if it's the same for anybody else out there, but here it takes you a good like 2 to 3 months to get in to see somebody. So it took me 2 months to get in to see the specialist. And in the meantime, he had told me to wear a back brace. I wasn't allowed to pick up the children. I wasn't allowed to pick up anything heavy. Avoid bending over, so like squatting or something. It made my life very difficult. And having a 6-month-old baby and not being able to pick them up out of their crib is like, it was very difficult. So that's where my emotions started of being so upset over this. So when I finally got in to see the specialist, she, you know, she was kind of thrown off, like, okay, you fractured your back. She thought, you're kind of young to have a fracture in your back. So she sent me to go get a bone density scan. And she got the results back. She gave us the results at the next appointment, and she basically said that they were normal, they were fine. I'm like, okay, well, that's good, I guess. Well, turns out that she was wrong. Just shows you not to trust every medical person out there. Always get a second opinion, especially when it's your body, because she was very wrong. A third party actually noticed that my bone density scan was abnormal, and at our next appointment with the specialist, we saw the actual doctor, not just the assistant, and he said that I obviously had osteoporosis. I'm like, okay, I didn't really know what that was at that point. But typically osteoporosis is very common in older women. And I'm not going to get into all like the specifics about the disease. If you have it, you probably know, but there's a lot to it. So, but being 30 years old, shouldn't have had it. But he said, yes, you definitely have osteoporosis, and it is like full-blown osteoporosis. So it wasn't just like, oh yeah, you kind of have it. So on the bone density scan, I have mine here, so I'll give you my numbers. But so according to the World Health Organization, the scan, there's like 3 different sections. So like normal is, and this won't mean anything to anybody, I guess, but then you can kind of relate to where my number is. But normal is -1 and up. Osteopenia, which is like the verge of osteoporosis, just means you have like low bone mass, is between -1 and -2.5, and osteoporosis is -2.5 and lower. So my scores for my spine was a -3.2, which is way, you know, that's pretty bad. And in my neck, they do like a couple different sections, was a -1.4 and a -1.5. So that is better than the -3.2. But the -3.2 was very obvious that that's why I fractured my back. So he then referred me to an arthritis specialist, which they also deal with like osteoporosis and other diseases like this. And again, I had to wait months to get in to see her. So I finally got in to see her. I'm sorry, my throat for some reason now has a tickle in it, so I have a cough drop in my mouth. I got in to see her on May 30th, 2012. And she confirmed that I do have osteoporosis and said that it needed to be treated with medication. Like, okay, well, what does that mean? So the medication that she wanted me to go on is called Forteo. And Forteo is a daily injection that you give yourself. It's like a shot of medicine, and it is the only medicine out there right now that will actually help you rebuild your bones. there's a lot of other, like pills and stuff that some people with osteoporosis or osteopenia may take, but at my age and already having a fracture, she said, yes, this is what you need to do. And I was like, okay, well, what do we do? So there's a class that my husband and I took, and they explain the medicine for you, the pros and cons, all this stuff. Well, the con was that you can't take the medicine while nursing, and nursing is like a huge part of my life. I nursed Carter until he was well over 2. I was actually pregnant with Cooper when I stopped nursing Carter. And I don't know, any nursing mother out there knows that, like, that's just a bond that you don't want taken from you. And I felt at that point that it was being taken from me, and I didn't want to stop nursing him. Sorry, I didn't think this was going to happen. So, in the meantime, before I stopped nursing him, before I knew I had to stop nursing him, a friend of mine was diagnosed with cancer. So, she had a baby boy that was just like a month younger than Cooper. And she was a nursing mom as well, and she didn't want to have to stop nursing him, but she had to, due to chemo that she was going to have to go through. And I told her that I would pump for her and supply as much milk as I could for her little guy. And I did. I produce a lot of milk when I nurse. I've donated milk to, a lot of people. It's something that I just love. So once I did that for her, and I told her that I was going to have to stop. So I stopped a couple months before I stopped nursing Cooper, so I could pump and, build up my stock for Cooper again. And I did get Cooper down to 2 bottles a day, which was huge because he would nurse all the time, and I let him because that's what he wanted. And he was like he is the happiest baby, but he was the happiest baby then as well. So I tried to find every way possible to not take this medicine. I was like in denial. It's like, I don't feel like I have osteoporosis. I would never have known if I wouldn't have broke something. And so I talked to my midwife and asked her, like, is there anything I can do diet-wise to try and, rebuild stuff, just like get healthier and eat like lots of vegetables that have calcium in them, and, take calcium pills, everything that I wanted to do naturally instead of take medicine. I'm not a huge person that, I'm not huge on taking medication. And she did some research on the medication, and she basically said, no, this is, with your score and, the way things have gone, she's like, this is probably the only way that you can build your bones back and be healthy again. Oh, and that was another difficult day because, midwives are more natural route, and they always have another way to do things to avoid medicine and, their little tricks. Well, this wasn't one of them. So I did stop nursing Cooper, and that was so hard. Oh, it was so hard. It still makes me angry and very emotional to even think about that, but I did stop nursing him, and I started taking the medicine. I've been on the medicine now for 11 months, I believe. And it's working, so that's a plus, which I'll get into in a minute. But anyway, so I take the daily injection, and I've only ever missed one day. So I'm really proud of that. Like, if you miss the medicine, it doesn't, you can't tell. But I've only missed it by one day, and that was because Jeremy was actually laid off, and we didn't have insurance, and the medicine is like, it's so expensive. That's another reason why I've been so angry over this. But the medication is like $1,600 a month, and that's just absurd to me to even think about. But we, and along with many other people, now the sun is like in my eyes, qualified for a copay assistance program, and we are so fortunate and just feel completely blessed that there is something like this out there, because they have helped us pay for my medication. And yeah, I don't know what we would do without it. But if you have osteoporosis and you want information about that program, let me know, like message me or something, and I can send you the information. We found out by a fluke when Jeremy called in the prescription, the guy told him how much it was going to be, and Jeremy was just like, oh my goodness, like he must have been just silent on the phone and was like, that is way more than I thought it was going to be. And you know, at this point we know we have to do it, but I don't want to go broke taking medication. So the guy said that there's this copay assistance program, and he gave Jeremy the information, and we qualified. I was just amazed. But the program is based off of donations from awesome people out there. Like, awesome people. So if you're one of those people that have donated to this program, thank you. But anyway, so we got the medicine, and there are some side effects to the medication. If in the beginning I wasn't taking enough calcium supplements to actually like have the medicine work, so you have to take a certain amount of calcium to actually allow the medication to take that calcium and build your bone back. So I take I think 1,000 milligrams. Oh, I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, I'll make a little subtitle with what I actually take, but of calcium each day. And if I do not take my calcium the next day, I can feel it. It's like my bones, like growing pains. I've never felt that until now, but they just ache so badly. And it could be one section. It could be my legs hurt really bad, or my arms hurt really bad. It's mostly like my arms or my legs if I don't take it. And sometimes it just happens no matter what. And also, I take the medication, the injection. Jeremy gives it to me every night before I go to bed. I've never done it to myself. I don't know if I'll ever have to, but I hope not. But he does the injection right before I go to bed, and there are maybe 50% of the time I get intense like cramps in my stomach from the medication. Oh, they're awful, like to the point where it feels like early like labor pains to me. That's how bad they are. And that's why I do it right before I go to bed, because I have to just lay in bed and like breathe through it and get through it. And it only lasts for maybe 15 minutes when it does happen, so it's fine. And she said that my doctor said there is medication she can give me to help with the cramping, but honestly I don't want to be in anything else, so I'm like, I can deal with it, it's fine. Whatever. What else? Side effects. I think that's pretty much it. But you can tell that, you know, there's something in your body. If you don't take what you need to take, you're going to be in pain. And I also take D3, a prescription pill D3 once a week because my D3 is significantly low. I don't know why, but it is. And so I take that once a week as well. But so now for the good news. I recently had a bone density scan done. You can do it once a year. My last bone density scan was over a year ago, but we decided to do it because we are like so ready to have another baby. We're ready to grow our family, and we've been ready for a while, and this has been stopping us. Obviously, we can't get pregnant while we're on the medication. But so I went and had my bone density scan done maybe a month ago, and they wouldn't give me the numbers, of course. I don't know why, but they are improving. I no longer have any osteoporosis. It's all osteopenia, so I'm just like so excited about that. So I feel like I'm getting closer to the point where I want to be, and healthy again and strong. But yeah, so my next appointment is in November, and hopefully they'll give me the numbers then, and we're going to talk to her about hopefully getting off the medication soon and being able to start, you know, continue to grow our family and get pregnant, which I'm so excited about. And yeah, so that's where we're at right now. What else? What do my other notes say here? Other things that I do to try and improve my bones besides just taking the Forteo. I exercise every day, which they strongly suggest that you do that when you have osteoporosis. A lot of older people, I think they just like, their bones just deteriorate so much faster because they don't have the energy to do anything. You know, even just, they say like doing like lifting weights, little weights, not deadlifts, but lifting weights, strengthening your core and making, you know, yourself stronger. So I exercise every day, and I have felt so much better like within the last month. My back has hurt ever since I broke it, but within the last month I have noticed a huge difference, and I believe it's due to the exercise I've been doing. But it doesn't hurt every day now, which is so exciting. I can bend over and pick up things, and I don't feel pain back there. When I overdo it, yes, I can definitely feel it. But the fracture is healed. It's been healed for probably a year now. But it is healed. It just, I think what happened was like one side of the bone like collapsed. So it's gonna hurt. But a lot of people probably ask like, why did you get osteoporosis? And I don't know the answer to that. I really can't tell you. It's still a mystery, and I don't know why I haven't looked into it. I think it's fear of being something else, or like some sort of hormonal imbalance or something else wrong, and maybe that's why I haven't, you know, looked into it to see why it happened to me. I don't know that I want to know. I do fear that it will come back, but yeah, I don't know. If it comes back, then, you know, we'll tackle that when it happens, and hopefully it won't. But the Forteo is a 2-year program, and I've been on it for 11 months. But it's 2 years at most, so 2 years in a lifetime, I guess I'll say. So if for some reason it did come back, I guess I could always go back on it if we decide that, you know, it's okay to stop taking it now. But we'll see. So that is my story of being diagnosed with osteoporosis and the whole process it took to finally come to that conclusion and to where we're at now. Much better place than I was 2 years ago. much better place. And I hope this video is helpful to some of you out there. And if you have osteoporosis and you're a young mom, I would love to hear your story and, you know, kind of connect with someone else that is going through the same struggles as I am. But it's going to get better. It is getting better, and I'm very hopeful that we will, you know, get over this bump and move on and be able to grow our family. That's our goal. Like, our goal is to get pregnant and be able to have another baby and not have to stop nursing anytime soon. So anyways, that's my story. I hope this helps someone out there, and if that's you, please reach out to me and let me know. Thanks for listening.